You're listening to the Parents of Hardworking Teens podcast, episode 99. Have we gone a little bit too far on telling students that results don't matter and their teenage years should be fun and chill? Stay tuned for a little discussion on the benefits of wanting to work hard, to do well, and taking on the challenge of pushing for academic goals. I'm Katie Jones, and with over 15 years in education as an award-winning high school teacher, international external examiner, and as a study coach, I've helped thousands of students skyrocket their results and confidence. And this podcast is where I share all my insights, tactics, and tips with you, the parent, so you can help your hardworking teen get happy, smart, and successful in their study, and have you both enjoy the journey along the way. This is the Parents of Hardworking Teens podcast. Hey, very important parents and carers. I hope you and your teens are doing great. I am currently in the swing of collating everything for the 100th episode of the podcast. I have a structure and a plan for it, and I hope you're really going to like it. Thank you again if you contributed your feedback, and an extra big thank you if you got on a Zoom call with me. You know I love speaking with all of you and getting to know you and your teens a little bit more. I've got to tell you that one of my favorites, I have a lot of favorites, was a student who did the 10-week grade transformation program a few years ago. I'm going to say a few because I can't think. It might have been like 3 years ago. I'm going to say 3. And was also in next level coaching after that, and is now in her first year of uni. And she booked in a Zoom call with me for feedback for the 100th podcast episode. She booked it in just to tell me, basically, how so many of the skills and so much of what she picked up and mastered through the 10-week program is already proving to be so useful for her at uni. Not that I recommend the program for university students, but she said that especially the note-taking and being able to answer questions succinctly and directly by staying super focused on what they're asking for has been invaluable, because she's studying law. And she commented on how she really needs to be able to get down key notes really, really well, because there's just so much information to take in. And when they get asked questions, they have like 50 words to get across their response and really deliver the key points and the issues. And she was like, I never would have been able to do that before without those skills and strategies of knowing what they really want and how to give it them. And she's now got those under her belt and she is flying. So that was super cool. And I'm really looking forward to unleashing episode 100 with you next week. And this week, I came across the fact that it is actually Mental Health Awareness Week. Now, I am in no way qualified to talk about mental health or well-being of anyone, including teenagers, including myself, most likely. But I know that it is an important topic to many of you and to all of us in relation to teenagers today, in relation to your teen and their study and their life balance. And so I will be more than happy to receive any feedback, critical feedback about anything I share in this episode, because today I'm going to touch on what I am seeing happen for a few students in relation to their approach to their study as they try to protect their mental health and their life balance, and to some extent maybe protect their reputation, their self-confidence, and conform to their peers and the messages that they are getting from the media and other influences in the world around them today. Because so often we hear about the ways in which putting themselves under too much pressure or overworking themselves or comparing their results to others can be detrimental to students' mental health. And of course, that is true in some cases. And like I said, I am not here to give advice. I am just going to share my experience as a teacher, as a study coach, and even reflecting a little bit on my experience as a student through life, because I have found myself wondering recently whether sometimes, due to the challenges and very real issues around mental health, in particular for students, the messages are losing a little bit of balance and losing the other side of the coin where hard work can be a positive. Going for a high level of achievement can even be enjoyable or beneficial for mental health and self-development. So probably this episode is aimed at those of you who have students who are hard workers and want to be told or reassured that it is okay to want to do well and to work hard. That life, at least as I see it, isn't either work hard or have fun. There is space for both. And sometimes at the same time, if they actually generally kind of enjoy school or doing well in their study or working hard as a process or in the topic that they're learning. And it's also for those of you who have a teen who maybe is capable of more and they've kind of bought into the idea that the easy path is actually the right path or the best path to take, and that settling for just passing in their studies has become or could become, is on the way to becoming their norm and actually isn't really benefiting them either in life or in their mental health. Now, I myself talk a fair bit about the importance of life balance for students, reducing unnecessary or unhelpful stress for students, because we want to take steps to reduce the unnecessary struggles so that your teen has the capacity to take on the more worthwhile and impactful struggles. We want to reduce the overworking and optimize the hard work. So when a student tells me, like I have had happen, at the start of their year 12, their final year, that they are already planning on taking a bridging course when I know they could well get directly into the course they actually want, that they're going to be aiming for eventually, or they're just not pushing themselves to do anything more than get a pass mark in a subject or for an assignment, not because they are putting their effort or focus somewhere else, which may well be a valid and strategic reason, but they're doing it just because. I'm starting to wonder if some of these messages from the media and society have swung maybe a little bit too far to the side of results aren't important. You don't need to follow a specific path into a career or a traditional path into a career, and you don't need great grades to be successful. And I do want to make clear that I totally agree with all of those statements. They are all true. I'm not saying that those messages aren't valid or true at all. I just don't want teens choosing a longer or less direct path just because they don't think they're capable of taking the direct path when they totally could be. I don't want them missing out on a future opportunity that they might want or might want in future that does require high academic results, because some of them do. And I don't want your teen to sell themselves short because they've been told that results don't matter or because they are overly worried that working hard for a period of time or having any amount of stress is going to lead to burnout or a terribly unhappy and unfun couple of years of their education. Now, I'm sure that anyone who has a teen who has struggled with academic stress and pressures might feel that I am way off track here with encouraging some students to push a bit harder or encouraging them to go after an ambitious goal, something that feels maybe ambitious or a bit of a push for them. And I totally understand that. But for some students, I do think they could benefit from someone supporting them in going after a goal rather than just telling them they're working too hard or that it doesn't matter, their results don't matter. Because it's almost painting this picture that we always need to be having more fun or we can't be happy if we're working hard. When actually working hard, feeling a sense of pride and achievement can in fact bring some levels of happiness, can build their confidence and enhance their life experience. For example, let's picture a mountain. It doesn't have to be a huge mountain, doesn't have to be Mount Everest, but it's going to be some hard work to get to the top. And there are two ways to get to the top. There is the steep and challenging hike straight up the side directly from the bottom to the peak. a more direct route, but certainly tougher mentally and physically, more difficult, more strenuous. Now, are there some people out there who not only might be skilled or fit enough and equipped to take that route? Yes. There's even some who want to take that route and take on the challenge. Are there some people who would benefit from having that challenge and even enjoy it? Absolutely. Are there some potential risks like getting injured, having setbacks, maybe even the risk of not actually making it to the top? Absolutely. Are there also ways to minimize those risks? Ways for those people to take care of themselves and be aware of some of the hazards and keep themselves as safe as possible? Make things planned and strategic along the way? Yes. And then there's the second route. There's also a network of paths that wind around the mountain, gradually scaling upwards. These are much longer, but much less arduous. Now, are there people for which this option is most suitable and healthier? Yes, absolutely. In fact, sometimes we might climb a bit and walk a bit, and that's an option as well. Both ways will get you to the top. And it might be that your teen knows that after this mountain, they have another adventure that they want to embark on. They might want to therefore get to the top as quickly as possible. Or maybe they're taking the slow and gentle path because maybe they have an injury, something that genuinely means that a steep climb and a big hike would be a bad idea for them. Maybe they know that isn't even the mountain they want to be climbing. Or maybe they're taking the slow path because they have another challenge that they've just worked on and achieved, or a different challenge coming up. So strategically, they are easing up on this particular one. Maybe their challenges come from other things in life. Maybe it's not through study. Maybe it's from sport or music or something else that they have. If your teen wants to climb the mountain though, and do it safely and enjoy the process, then I am all for it. And I think that there are students out there who are craving the support to give it a damn good go. They'd even like to develop the skills and the strategies that will equip them to do it with less of the setbacks and build that belief and the confidence when they do it. Because knowing that ultimately the results don't matter and there are many ways to become successful and many routes into careers and avenues in life is absolutely true. And it is helpful to hear if your results aren't what you hoped for. But I would argue it might not be that helpful to hear that repeatedly while you are working for those results. Because there is both potential risk and reward in going after a goal, but there is also risk and reward in not doing so. When students play it safe or sell themselves short, which is what I think is starting to happen in some cases these days, even dare I say it, is kind of being encouraged in some cases because of the fear of the potential negatives if they do push themselves hard, if they do become too attached to those results, then there is still risk in the other direction. We are risking squashing their ambition, reducing their drive, their ability to push themselves and realize their true potential. And we're limiting the opportunities for them to build that confidence that comes from working hard for something and then achieving it. And I think that sometimes the fear of the potential negatives feels so much bigger than the fear of not having some of those positives. And I just wonder whether there could be a more balanced view of things. If we stay aware of the dangers and risks of climbing the mountain, of studying too hard, overworking, leading to burnout, if we're aware of that, we can take steps to stay safe, to rest when needed, to get the training and the skills, and to get skilled up in the training and strategies that will help us climb safely and successfully, to plan and execute strategically. Because the way to tackle a tough climb is not to just go hell for leather and just hustle to the top. That is unlikely to work and is likely to result in an accident or injury. But doesn't mean that we don't take on the challenge. We just use some hiking techniques, the right gear, the safety harnesses, plan out the route, have the appropriate footwear, and have a support crew. So is there a way that we can approach this with your teen study to have them push themselves when that push is coming from a positive place rather than a place of comparison or an intimidating fear of failure? Or maybe it's to have them take that long and gentle path if it is coming from, again, a positive place rather than the fear of burnout or the choice to not really try so that they can't really fail. For some students, they may well be capable of taking the tougher but more direct path. They might even benefit from seeing what they're capable of, from experiencing the grit of working hard and the sense of pride and achievement if they achieve that goal, or even the experience of not achieving the goal but having given it their all. I can't not add on to that, though, that we really want them to learn something from that experience that they can take forwards. We don't want them to just be failing with nothing to show from it. There is a fine line between healthy competition, whether that's competition with themselves or competition with others, but doing that in a healthy, positive way, and the crossover into judgment. There is a fine line between pride and ego. So what I'm saying here is that we're not just risking students' mental health and happiness by trying to avoid the negatives or having them take things too far if they aim too high. We also risk things if they don't aim high and take things too far the other way. We risk them not just not meeting, but actually lowering their potential. We risk not developing their grit and resilience. We risk never finding out what they are truly capable of achieving or seeing what their work capacity really is. There is risk in playing it safe or them selling themselves short, because some students will benefit from and get a lot out of climbing or at least attempting to hike up that mountain. Others will be better off and benefit from taking those side paths. I do think we have a lot of media messages, though, telling teens to take that easy side path, recommending it, almost advising it. And I don't see as many people saying, hey, it's okay, let's go climb and hike up that mountain. Go for it. Push yourself. I will be here to support you. I'm going to give you the skills and the strategies so that we do avoid any potential injuries and negatives along the way. And that experience in itself might be really valuable. The result on top will be a very nice bonus. So it's not an either or. I think it's an and. Both can be good options at different times for different people. I just want to be a bit of a voice and a cheerleader for those students who want to do the challenging hike, or for those of you who as parents think your teen could benefit from attempting the hike. Maybe you even know that they are capable of it and they are doubting themselves and they could benefit from the confidence boost that comes from pursuing and working for something big, especially if they have the appropriate training, skills, and support to do it. So I hope that your teen is taking on a few challenges, whatever they are for them, in a healthy and positive way, even if it doesn't always feel positive and exciting at the time. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you back here for episode 100 next week. See you then. Bye. If you're ready to have your teen achieve their best possible result with less stress, then I want to invite you to enroll them in the 10-week Grade Transformation Program, where they're going to learn the key concepts, skills, and strategies to catapult their performance in assessments and exams. It's risk-free. They either achieve bigger and better results with a whole lot more confidence in 10 weeks, or we refund you in full. Just head over to www.rocksolidstudy.com/program, and I'll see you there.